My name's Leo and I'm a boat builder and a sailor, and I'm on a mission to rebuild and restore this 109-year-old classic sailing yacht, Tally Ho. Right now the bow of the boat is wide open because we recently removed the old bow assembly, but hopefully this week we're going to be replacing that with a new mast step, forefoot, stem knee and stem. But the first thing I've got to do is address a big thundershake that's in the new stem timber, and I'm hopefully going to repair that by putting a graving piece in. These holes I just drilled to test the depth of these shakes. Shake is generally a type of split in timber. These we call thunder shake when you get this strange shake that actually goes across the grain, and this one is the biggest one. You can see that that goes really quite deep, and so I'm gonna let in what we would call a graving piece. The problem is that it's so deep that it has to be quite a big graving piece, and it has to have a long ratio on the scarf joint so that it's as strong as the grain would be originally. So I've made the graving piece, and now I'm just making a jig so that I can use a router to get the exact same surface angle where I'm going to let this piece in, so it should be a nice tight fit. That's the router base.
I'm drilling out like a perimeter around the head of the bolt so that as I hammer it out, it doesn't split out the surface of the wood, so we can save it for later. We are pre-drilling and then putting screws into the holes that we're drilling to secure the frames to the keel.
So So as well as working on the big graving piece which I put into the stem, we've also been cutting these slots into the scarf joints. Now the purpose of the slots is to take 2 long tapered wedges in each slot which will really lock those scarf joints together. Unfortunately we lost the footage of cutting these slots, but I used the rail saw to cut each side of the slot and then chiseled out the middle and just finished off the bottom with a router. And Renault made the wedges out of some Purple Heart offcuts. Now I marked the positions for the slots when the assembly was in one piece out here in the yard, and so hopefully when we put those all in the boat very soon they will still line up.
And not the drummer.
It's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Okay. Two, three. 2, 3. Okay. There we go. Down. Yeah, so let's try and shift it onto the centreline now.
It looks like it's pretty much on the line.
Yeah, that's really good.
Got you counterbalanced, yeah.
Okay.
Get the...
We've got to cut the felt out now that we've sandwiched it in between and it's in the right place. Oh yeah. This is how we brainstorm.
What do you think about this graving piece here?
I was thinking, what kind of glue do you use?
Polyurethane. It's water resistant, and the nice thing is it also needs some moisture to cure.
What?
So you can use it on fairly green timber quite well. What we've just been doing is transferring the measurement from the lofting floor of the front of the stem to the back of the stern post, which is essentially the length of the boat. And we've brought the batten up here to measure the actual boat and check that it's the same length as the drawing, which effectively is checking the angle of the bow assembly to make sure all the joints are working as they should be. I'm really pleased because it is actually less than 1/8 of an inch out from the drawing, which is better than I had expected.
Hi, Mom.
kind of scary because if you load up the drill bit too much by drilling too deep in one go without clearing the chips, there's a lot more torque on the bit because all the chips get jammed in the thread of the drill, and because there's a lot of torque on it, there's a much better chance then of the drill bit snapping. And especially because this is a more modern drill bit, it's actually a more brittle steel than the old one, so just trying to clear the chips as often as possible.
Okay, so right now I'm focusing on counterboring the bolt holes in the bow assembly. I did one already right there. Also we made a new shaft for this counterboring bit.
So what we're going to do is, there's two lines here, we're going to cut along the bottom line all the way on the end down to here. Okay, we're going to start tiring up the centerline joints.
Too late.
This bit here.
This bit.
It's that bit.
It's like licorice flavored. Trust me.
I can take some of the weight here, probably most of it to be honest.
Rotate.
Make me down a pallet on your floor. Make me down a pallet on your floor. Lay me down a pallet soft and low. When I'm broke and got nowhere to go, I've been hanging around with some good time friends of mine. I've been hanging around with some good time friends.
Hey, seems to line up. This is definitely number 8, right?
Yeah. Treat me very nice and kind when I've got all so make me down a pallet on your floor. Make me down a pallet on your floor. Lay me down a pallet soft and low. When I'm broke and got nowhere to go.
This is corking cotton, and I'm going to wrap a couple of turns around the bolt on the outside, and corking cotton expands when it gets wet, so if any water gets into this area, then this should create a watertight seal so it doesn't go up the bolt hole and end up inside the boat.
The way I'm sleeping, my back and shoulders tired. The way I'm sleeping, my back and shoulders tired. But come tomorrow, well, I'll be satisfied if I can catch that fast train and ride. So make me down a pallet on your floor.
Putting on the last coat of tar. It's been a dirty job, but a very rewarding job.
Ready? Yeah. So we're about to put the stem in on its final fit, bolted in with tar, and this will be the last piece of the centerline. So it's a bit of a milestone for us here, and yeah, what can I say? It's just awesome to have the centerline nearly finished. Of course, there's a lot of fairing and we've got to cut the rabbet and so on, but it's really good to be getting closer, and hopefully in about a month's time after the next frame raising, all the frames are going to be finished as well, so that'll be a really big step. And it's also about 2 years since I started this project, maybe a little more, but it's 52 videos, so that makes about 2 years, so another milestone and only another 2 years to go.
So make me down a pallet on your floor. Now make me down a pallet on your floor. Lay me down a pallet soft and low. When I'm broken, got nowhere to go.
That was better.
Alright, well, the bow assembly is in and bedded, and the entire centerline is now complete. I'm really pleased to have gotten to this stage, and it certainly wouldn't have been possible without the support of you guys out there watching, all the people who have come to help, and the wonderful people who own this property, of course. So a massive thanks to everyone who's donated or otherwise supported the project. It really does make a huge difference, and it means we're able to take the time to make and edit these videos, so I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time when we're going to be beginning the next frame raising period, replacing all the frames in the bow of the boat.